Yamevam yogati tatvata tyaktva deham punarjanma neti mamati sarvajam. Sadhu Sangha Sarva Shastra Koi Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha Sarva Siddhi Hoy. Krishna Bhakti Janma Mula Hoy Sadhu Sangha Krishna Prema Janma Tina Puna Mukhya Anga. Krishna Tvadiya Pada Pankaja Panjarantam Deva Me Manasa Raja Hamsa Pranaya Prayana Samay Kafavata Pitte Kanthavadodhana Virau Smaranam Kuthaste. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you so much, dear worshipable devotees, for joining. So we are discussing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam here, Canto 9, Chapter 24, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And we read till text number 19. Yesterday we were talking about the story of Shamantak jewel and Prasena and Satyajit, how Krishna took the jewel back. And today is a very holy day. You may wonder, every day I'm telling that. But today is very, very special because it's the day of Gopashtami. And if Krishna willing, we'll discuss some stories also from the pastime of Gopashtami. But let's first read a few verses from the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 24, text number 19. Kukuro bhaja manascha shuchiha kambala barshisha Kukurasya shuto vahani vilomatanayastatha. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Kukura, Bhaj Mana, Shuchi, and Kambala Barhisha were the four sons of Andhaka. The son of Kukura was Vahani, and his son was Viloma. Hare Krishna. So quite straightforward. There are a lot of names here. These are the dynasty of Andhaka. As we were there in the previous. Andhaka. Okay. Let's see what happens further. Next one. Yes, Vipul Prabhu, want to read?
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Kṛṣṇa devotees, Dhanam Pranam, all blessed Srila Prabhupada, text 20. Kapo taroma tasya anu shakha yasya cha dumbudha andhakadhum dubhish tasmad avidyayata punar vashu. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The son of Viloma was Kapo Taroma, and his son was Onu, whose friend was Tumburu. From Onu came Andhaka, from Andhaka Dundubhi, and from Dundubhi Obhidayata. From Obhidayata came a son named Punarbashu. Back to Prabhuji. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Okay. Go to the next one. 21 to 23. Prabhu, you want to read?
Hare Kṛṣṇa Prabhu, Hare Kṛṣṇa devotees, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Śrīla Prabhupada. Text 21 to 23. Tasya ahuka cha ahuki cha kanya cha eva ahuka atmaja devakascha ugrasenascha chatvaro devakatmaja devavan upadevascha sudeva deva vardhana tesham shashara saptashan drita devai adya nipa shanti deva upadevascha Śrī deva devarakshita Sahadeva devakicha Vasudeva ubahata. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Joy Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Punarvashu had a son and a daughter named Ahuka and Ahuki, respectively. And Ahuka had two sons named Devaka and Ugrasena. Devaka had four sons named Devavan, Upadeva, Shudeva, Devavardhana. And he also had seven daughters named Shanti Deva, Upadeva, Śrī Deva, Deva Rakshita, Sahadeva, Devaki, and Drita Deva. Drita Deva was the eldest. Vasudev, the father of Krishna, married all these sisters. Hare Kṛṣṇa Prabhu, back to you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. So the seven daughters of Devaka, who was the son of Ahuka, are described here. And of course, the sons are also described, but Krishna's mother, Devaki, was the daughter of Devaka. And Vasudeva was the husband of Devaki. And he was not only the husband of Devaki, but also the other sisters as well. So, namely, all the seven daughters of Devaka. So that's we see from this verse. Okay, we'll read one more verse, maybe two more verses, and then we'll discuss about Gopashtami. Yes, Sampada Mataji, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Text 24. Kamsaha sunamanya krodhaha kankaha sankuhu suhustatha rashtrapalotha dristischa tustiman augrasenayaha. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Kamsa sunamanya krodha kanka sanku suhu rashtrapala dristi and tustiman were the sons of Ugrasena. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. So Ugrasena had 9 sons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Kamsa was the main. And here also we see this whole dynasty is of great people like, but Kamsa was born in that. It's very similar to Kartavirya Arjuna. So sometimes irreligious kings are also born in great dynasty. Like the famous example is also of Narakasura or Bhaumasura. He was the son of the Supreme Lord, but because of the bad association, he was a victim of bad habits. So it does not matter what heritage one may have, what parentage, what grandparentage, or what matters more than that is what is one's current association. Every saint had a past and every sinner has a future. So no matter, one could be and this is true even for our Krishna conscious society. We may have taken initiation from a wonderful spiritual master, wonderful grand spiritual master Srila Prabhupada, but that does not mean that after that, if we are loose, lax, not serious, not sincere, everything will fall into place. Everything will not fall into place. If we get into wrong company, wrong habits, then it will, in spite of having glorious Bhagavatam, glorious Prabhupada, glorious spiritual master, glorious everything, one's bad association will drag one to the greatest of these sinful activities. The classic example here is Kamsa. So he was born in great heritage, but we all know what kind of wrong things he did. Okay, text 25, anyone? Saraswati Mataji, you want to read?
Dhanavat pranam everyone. Text 25. Kamsa kamsavati kanka suravu rashtra palika ugrashana duhitaro Vasudevanuja Striyaha. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Kamsavati, Kanka, Suravu, and Rashtrapalika were the daughters of Ugroshana. They became the wives of Vasudeva's younger brothers. Back to you, Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So, yeah, quite straightforward. The 5 daughters of Ugrasena, the sisters of Kamsa and other 9 brothers. As Vasudeva married Devaki and her sisters, Vasudeva's younger brothers married the other daughters of Ugrasena. So, anyone has any comments so far?
Prabhu, Hare Krishna. I was listening to one time His Holiness Bhaktichar Maharaj, one lecture from Garga Samhita. He was saying that Kangsha actually not the son of Ugrasena. There was a demon whose name was Drumila. And Drumila actually, one time Kangsha was not at home and Drumila take his form. And he wanted to actually have sexual activity with Kangsha's son, Kangsha's wife. And so he came as a Ugrasana's feature. And when he was having association, Ugrasana's wife realized that it was not Ugrasana because his behavior, everything was little different. And then Drumila told her that he was attached to her. That's why he wanted to have association, and then that's why he came. And that's what Kangsha was born from Ugrasana's wife, actually. I don't know, have anybody heard about that? It was from Maharaj's lecture.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Okay, so we'll read some special stories on this day of Gopashtami. So, this is the story of Radharani's disguise. Śrīmad Gaur Govind Swami Maharaj, in one of his classes. So one fine day, I'm going to share my screen also. So let's see. So one day Srimati Radharani made a nice flower garland for Krishna and gave it to Vrinda Devi. You take and give this to Krishna. Reading from here. Vrinda Devi thought, Subala Sakha is a Priya Narma Sakha. He is very dear to Krishna. If Subal Sakha takes and gives it to Krishna, then Krishna will be more pleased. So Vrinda Devi gave the garland to Subala Sakha. Now Krishna was sitting on the bank of Radhakund. It was midday and Subalasakha came and gave the garland to Krishna. It's a nice, very nice lesson here. The whole intent is that to please Krishna more, not to be in the forefront if it's not required, but to see how it will please Krishna the more, going through the proper channel. Subalasakha came and gave the garland to Krishna as it was given by Radharani. So Radharani made the garland, she gave to Vrindadevi, Vrindadevi gave to Subalasakha. And finally, he explained what was going on, who prepared the garland, and how it came in the hands, and how he was handing it over. Then Krishna said, "Oh, I was just sitting here thinking about Radharani when you brought me her garland. My mind is very much agitated." Krishna is saying, my mind is agitated, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Only Radharani can agitate her mind. Please help me, help me, help me. Bring Radharani here. Please bring Radharani here. I want to meet with her. Subalasakha said, "Oh, my dear friend, this is not a good time. It is noon time. It is quite impossible to bring Radharani here now. Oh, my dear friend, give up this hope. It is quite impossible." Krishna said, "But my dear friend, my mind is very restless and agitated." The one, all the yogis, all the bhaktas are meditating upon Krishna to control their mind. But Shri Radharani is Madan Mohan Mohini. She agitates the mind of the Supreme Lord. "Unless you bring Radharani for me, then I will drown myself in the Yamuna river and finish myself." Krishna is saying this. Subala thought, "Oh, my friend cannot survive. He will drown in Yamuna. All right, then, by hook or crook, somehow I must bring Radharani here to give pleasure to my friend." This is the friend's mentality, to give pleasure. The Sakhas always understand Krishna's mentality. They know that what Krishna is thinking and how can they help. Because they are Krishna, Priya Narma Sakha, understanding the heart of the Supreme Lord. So they made this plan. And they know how to give him pleasure. This is Sakhya Rasa, Madhur Rasa, sweet mellow. Such are the activities of Priya Narma Sakha. They are the very close associates, the friends of the Supreme Lord. Very dear to Krishna, and Krishna is very dear to them. Someone wants to read this part who hasn't got a chance to do? Maybe one paragraph each can read.
I can read, Prabhu.
Yes,
Dandat Pranam devotees, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Suspicious Jatila. Subala Sakha is very expert in all these activities. He went to Yavat, Radharani's father-in-law's house. Radharani's mother-in-law Jatila had just finished taking her lunch and was sitting at the doorstep facing the window of Radharani's room. When she saw Subal, she said, "Hey, why have you come here at noontime?" She knows, oh, this boy has come for some purpose. Yes, he's a naughty boy. Why are you coming here at this time? Sorry, I lost my... Then Subal, with much humility, said, "Oh, mother, one of my calves is missing. I've searched all of the expected places, but I couldn't find him. At last I have come here. He might be here, mother. Will you please go in and see if my calf is here? I'll be freed from anxiety if I know my calf is here or not." Jatila became very angry. "I have already taken my lunch. I cannot move myself. You go inside and see." He was expecting her to say that. It was very difficult to go inside because she was sitting at the doorstep. So he got the opportunity. All of Krishna's Leelas take place by the wonderful arrangement of Yogamaya. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. When we have sincere desire to please Krishna, then Krishna will give the intelligence. Dami buddhi yogam tam yena mamapayanti. by hook or crook, Subala, the friend of the Supreme Lord, wanted to please Krishna, wanted to fulfill her. This can be our meditation also, that we may not be sometimes sure how this will happen. It is quite impossible. But Prabhupada said, impossible is the word in Fool's Dictionary. Nothing is impossible for a devotee. There are multiple verses in the Bhagavatam which also prove this point, that there is nothing impossible for a devotee. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate kirimit kripata maham vande Shri Gurudin Tharinam. A lame man can cross over mountains. Mukam karoti vachalam. A person who don't know a dumb can speak esoteric, eloquent katha. So nothing is impossible. And Prabhupada proved by his example. If someone has to say, well, I'm in the age of 70 years, or did Sumiti Murarji, Mataji, she told Prabhupada that she wanted to help Prabhupada, but she was also concerned, like a motherly concern, that you are old, America is very cold, you don't know anyone, you don't have any resources, you don't know the culture, you don't know the environment there. It's very tough. Why don't you just practice bhajan here? It will be very difficult for you. Out of concern, she was saying that, not because of just indirectly saying no, kind of get out of here, don't bother me. That was not her agenda. She was a devotee. But out of concern, but Prabhupada said, no, I have to go. It's my Guru's order. And Prabhupada made the impossible possible. And so Prabhupada disciples made the impossible possible. So Jatila, the mother-in-law, was quite hefty in her body size. And she's saying, I cannot move myself, especially after my lunch. You're asking me to move. So, and look for your calf. This is what Subala wanted, to get inside. That's what he really wanted to say, her to say, or Jatla to say. And just imagine this episode. It was very difficult to go inside because she was sitting at the doorstep. So you can imagine this. So somehow he got inside. Let's see what happens further. Anyone wants to read? Doesn't get a chance.
I can do it.
Yes, please.
Remembering Yoga Maya, Subal Saka prayed and then entered into the inner apartment where Radharani was. He told everything to Radha. Krishna is sitting there on the bank of Radhakund, intensely thinking of you. You have to go there, otherwise he will drown himself in the Yamuna. Radharani said, how will it be? It is an awkward time and my mother-in-law is sitting there at the doorstep. How can I go? How can I go? But what is impossible? If you are very anxious to do something to give pleasure to Krishna, what is impossible? Krishna can do and undo things. Nothing is impossible for Krishna. Krishna gives the intelligence. Pure intelligence comes from Krishna. The Gita 10.10 describes Tesam satatayuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadhami buddhi yogam tam enamamuppa yantite. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Krishna says, one who is in Satata Yukta, constantly engaged in my bhajan with Preeti, with love, I give him pure intelligence. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So we briefly touched upon this lesson that nothing is impossible to those who are Satata Yukta or Nitya Yukta. This word Nitya Yukta, always engages, comes in chapter 10, chapter 7, we discussed last time. Multiple chapters it comes in Bhagavad Gita and of course in Bhagavatam. So those who are always absorbed in thinking of Krishna, Krishna is always absorbed in thinking of them. And he will certainly, not if, not but, not maybe, not no doubts, no kind of uncertainty. It's always certain that Krishna will give the intelligence if we are constantly meditating upon how to serve him in the best way. Kathanchana smrite yasmin dushkaram sukaram bhavet viparite vismaran syad Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu. If someone is remembering Krishna, dushkaram becomes sukaram. The activities which are very, very difficult become sukara, very easy to do. How? When one is remembering Krishna. And what happens? Vismaran vipritam syat. Vismaran means forgetfulness of Krishna. And if we forget Krishna, what will happen? The opposite will happen. The opposite is basically forgetfulness of the Supreme Lord. Will lead to the easy things becoming very difficult. The easy will also, the sukara will also become very dushkara. So this is the pastime. So let's see further what happens in how Radharani was able to meet Krishna. Subala has gone in now. Let's see further. Yes, Śrī Prabhu.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Hare Krishna. From Radharani's disguise, right, Prabhuji? Yeah. Hare Krishna. Done that, Pranam, or everybody. So the intelligence came. What should be done? Subala Saka has the same appearance as Radharani. Subala Saka said, "All right, Radharani, you take my garments." He gave his dhoti, his kurta, his turban, and everything to Radharani. "You put all of this on now. You give me your sari. I'll put on your sari and remain here." They exchanged clothes. Then, how to get out? The knee eyes of Radharani's mother-in-law Jatila and her sister-in-law Kutila are there on Radharani. How to get out? Now that Radharani was dressed in his clothes, Subala Saka told her, "Pick up a calf. Hold the calf on your breast like this, then go out." Subala Saka had come to get his calf. She did as Subala told her. Dressed in the form of Subala Saka, she picked up a calf, pressed it to her breast, and passed through. When she came to where Jatila was sitting, Radharani, as Subala Saka said, "Mother, I got my calf." "Oh, you got your calf? All right, very good. Now go away, get out." Radharani got out and went to Radha Kund to meet Krishna, happy union. However, Subala Saka was still inside wearing Radharani's sari. How was he going to get out? Another problem. Generally at noontime, the damsels of Vrajabhumi all go to Surya Kund to offer puja to Surya Dev. Now was that time. So all the damsels of Vrajabhumi came out from their houses. Jatila called out, "Oh, daughter-in-law, aren't you going to the Surya Kund to offer puja to Surya Deva?" Imitating Radharani's voice, Subala Saka said, Yes, mother, I'm going. In this way, Subala Saka got out of the house and went to Radha Kund. Krishna became very happy because Subala Saka brought Radharani before him. Krishna looked at Subala Saka and both of them were laughing. This is Sakyarasa in Vrajalila. The Sakas, friends of Krishna, always help Krishna and give him pleasure according to what he wants. Such are the loving dealings among friends. This pastime is known as Subala Milana. From Mathura meets Vrindavan, Gopalji Publications, Pronation, Hare Kṛṣṇa website. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Such a beautiful pastime. Isakhirasa, how Krishna met Srimati Radharani and how Subala Sakha became the instrument. So in many ISKCON temples, we see that Srimati Radharani is dressed as the Gopa boy. This is from, I believe, Sridham, Mayapur. So we see Radharani is dressed as a Gopa boy, wearing dhoti, kurta, and carrying the cow with sticks. In some temples, she carries even the ropes. Yeah, look at this one. Radharani is carrying the ropes. So from Nashik, it's called Nashik temple. Look at all the other Sakhis are also dressed. This is from, I believe, Tirupati. So there are so many such wonderful darshans in all these ISKCON temples. Gopashtami darshans, you can see. This is another ISKCON temple, I think, Noida. So Radharani wearing dhoti, kurta, carrying the stick of a cowherd boy. So Radharani became the Gopa boy. This happened. But the other very famous episode which happens on this time is Krishna has transitioned from Komar Avastha to Paganda Avastha. That means from the age of like 0 to 5 group to the 6 to 10 group. And now he has grown big. Earlier he was Vatsapala, tender of the calves, the small cows. Now he is transitioning to Gopal. So there is some words which from a great Vaishnava poet, he's saying, Krishna is saying to his mother, "Oh mother, I shall tend the cows today. Please dress me up nicely, fix my hair in a top knot, chant mantras over it, give me anklets to put on my feet, put tilak on my forehead and garland me, put a horn, a cane, a flute in my hands." See, all these items are there on the deities also, the horn, the cane, the flutes, the garland, etc. Shri Dama, Sudama, Dama, Subala, Adi, everyone come. They're all waiting for me on the road. Vishala, Arjuna, Kinkini, Anshumana, they're all dressed and ready to go to the pasturing fields. So, let's see if someone wants to read this words. I think Jyoti Mataji wants to read. Mataji, you want to read this? This is the words of the
Sure, Prabhuji. Thank
Supreme
you.
Lord.
Dandavat pranams to all the assembled devotees. So I start from the beginning, Prabhuji? Or just the verses?
Yeah, you can read from here. Gopalera Kathashuni Sajala Nayana Rani.
Gopalera katha suni sajala nayana rani achitane dharani lotaya chanchala bahuri sane kemane dai bhavane komala dukhani ranga paya विप्रदासा गोशे बाले ei baye se gothe gele prana ki darite pare maya. Hearing these words from her Gopal, the queen began to weep and fell on the floor in a faint. How can those tender feet keep pace with the restless calves in the forest? Vipradas Ghosh says, how can mother tolerate it if you go to herd cows at such a young age? Shall I continue, Prabhuji? Yashoda's reply to Krishna.
For a mother, just one comment here. Is for a mother, there is always a child, right? The mother always thinks my child is small, whether the child is 5 years, 10 years, 50 years, also the child thinks that the mother, that's the love of the mother, the vatsalya rasa. The mother always wants to love the child, protect the child, take care of the child to the best of her abilities. She will compromise in her health, her wealth, her everything to take care of the child. That is the pure love of a mother. And Krishna's love for his children, his devotees primarily, his cows, is million times more. Million is also a very small number, just to give some understanding. Love of God towards us, his devotees, his children, is million times more than a mother of this world would love his or her child, her son, her daughter. So we can imagine how much Krishna loves all his devotees, especially. So now Mother Yashoda is very unhappy in one way. Why? Because she can't allow Krishna to go. And let's see when Krishna gave this proposal that everyone is ready, please dress me up. I want to take care of the cows now. Let's see what she replies. Maybe you can read this verse.
Amara sapati lage, nai daiha denura age, paranera parana nilamani, nikate rakhi hai dhenu, puri ha mohana venu, ghare basi ami yena shuni. O dark jewel, O life of my life, promise that you will not run before the cows. Let the cows graze nearby while you play on your flute, so that I may hear it from the house.
So here we see deep emotions of Mata Yashoda to protect the possessiveness, the protection, the love is exhibited in all these words. Let's see what else she speaks. Who hasn't got a chance yet today? You can't throw, want to read?
Sure, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I just missed.
Yeah, you can just read the English, maybe. Yeah, let's read the English so we can cover this. Here.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Balai Balaram will go in front of you with others on your right and left. Sridhama and Sudama should be behind you. Stay in their midst and never stray away. Thank you, Prabhuji. Okay. Should I read this, Prabhuji? Sure. The pasture ground is full of dangers. Eat when you are hungry and watch your step. The path is full of thorns. Promise on my head, Kanu, that you will not agree to bring back a big cow on anyone's request. Listen to the pleas of your mother. Stay in the shade, protected from the sun. Take Yadavendra with you to carry your shoes. He will help you to put them on when necessary. Thank you.
So beautiful. So Mata Yashoda is telling, always be surrounded by the elder boys, Balram, etc. You be in the middle so that you are small. These elders will protect you. Watch your feet, watch your shoes. And in a cow, if sometimes they run in the other direction, don't try to run after him or her. They'll come back. You take care of yourself. You are too small. This is the love of the mother. And then we also were discussing that how Mother Yashoda made a pair of shoes. That Krishna, the forest, there are a lot of pebbles, thorns, and rocks. They may hurt your tiny lotus feet. Your lotus feet are softer than the softest of the everything in the world you can imagine. And you are so soft. So please wear these shoes she had prepared. This conversation was happening. And then Krishna said, well, mother, I would wear the shoes only at one condition. I am the servant, we are Gopal, we are our duty is to serve the cows. We are not the master of the cows. We are Go-Sevaka. How can the master get something when the servant and don't have? This is real servant leadership. So Krishna said, okay, I will wear, but first let's give shoes to all the 900,000 cows. That means 36,000 shoes. Oh, sorry, 3.6 million, right? 900,000 times 4, 3.6 million shoes. And Mata Yashoda said, well, that's not easy to make. They didn't have a shoe factory. So the point is that the cows were hearing all that. And by the transcendental arrangement of Yogamaya, all their ropes opened, and with their hard hoofs, they pulverized all the stones, all the pebbles, all the thorns and the rocks of Rajabhumi and made it into a very fine, silky sand-like powder. Because tomorrow our little Khana will go deeper in the forest. Not even a single particle of thorn, pebble, rock should bother him. This is the reciprocal relationship between the Lord and his devotee. The Lord loves his devotee more than anything, and the devotee loves the Lord more than anything. The Krishna loves cow more than everything, and cows love the Supreme Lord more than their life and soul. So wonderful, this Leela. So on this day, this Leela happened again, and this is a beautiful cow offering pranams to the deities, and this very nice shloka here, quoted in the Śrī Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu and Śrīla Jiva Goswami's Bhakti Sandarbha. So let's see what is this wonderful shloka. Anyone wants to read? Who hasn't got a chance today? Vijaya Mataji, want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Just as purchased animal does not think of its protection, a person who offers his body to the Lord gives up protecting himself. What are the
Thank you. Chintam Kuryan na rakshyasi na rakshyai. Everyone in this world has chinta. Right? What will happen to me? What will happen to my family? What will happen to my job? What will happen to my visa? What will happen to my children? What will happen to their marriage? What will happen to my grandchildren? What will happen to this? A lot of chinta is there. But a purchased animal, vikritasya yatha pasho, a purchased animal, that means a surrendered animal, a pet dog who has taken shelter of the master. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Krishna, sarvasva toma charani sampiya, porichi tomara ghari. Tumi to Thakur, ami tomara kukur. You are the master, I am the servant. So if one has that mentality, Nija Palana Poshana Chinta Na Koribe. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, I'm paraphrasing the words. I will not worry about how my palan poshan will happen. Because a pet dog does not worry. A surrendered, a purchased animal does not worry. How will my palan poshan happen? Who worries? The master worries. Like a small 2-year-old does not worry. Will my parents get food for me? Will they pay the bills? Will they get the light? Do any 2-year, 5-year, 6-year, 10-year, they ask all these questions to the parents? No. They are dependent on the parents. They know my parents will provide us the food, the clothes, the shelter, the light, the water. Tatha arpayan haro. A person, tatha means similarly, arpayan, one who is arpana. Arpana means given himself, who has offered himself, his deha. Tatha arpayan haro deha. One who has given up his body, or given his body to Hari. Vira med asya rakshanad. Gives up protecting himself. That means, Krishna, Marubi Rakhobi Amito Tomar. You protect me, you destroy me. I'm your pet servant. Whatever you will do will be for my benefit. And a good master, which Krishna certainly is, will never let his devotee suffer. A good master will take care of his or her subjects more than his own self. We just saw the example of Krishna who was first wanting to offer the shoes for the cows. Then he would have worn. If the cows can't wear, I won't wear. This is the Krishna consciousness, the love of the Supreme Lord. So to start to read these wonderful stories from this book, Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta, which is published by Sri Gopalji Publications. This is a special Gopashtami edition. Any comments, additions, questions, thoughts anyone has? Okay, so we will pause here and wish you all a happy Gopashtami. And let's do our best to protect mother cows. Cows are worshipped even by the demigods. So if not directly, then we should help in indirect ways. Do our best to protect mother cow, we say. One quick Prabhupada pastime. Prabhupada, when someone will ask Prabhupada, what's your favorite animal? Prabhupada replied, buffalo, something like that, buffalo. And then devotees were shocked because they thought, well, Prabhupada would say cow or something like that. And they asked, like, Prabhupada, is it not cow? So I thought you asked what's your favorite animal. Cow is not animal, cows are mother. So quite deep. Meditate upon that line. Cow is not an animal. Cow is one of the 7 mothers. So let's pray that in this world, cow situation is very degraded because of the slaughterhouses and stuff. We all know hundreds, thousands, millions of cows are slaughtered. So we must do our part to the best of our ability by supporting those who are directly serving, by using cow products in the sense of soap, dhoop, deep, etc., which will indirectly support. And if we can and should get the milk which is closest to the nature, with the least harm to the nature and the mother cows. All these are small things, but have a big impact on our own consciousness, and of course to the mother cows as well. So we should be very mindful and as far as possible do our best, and also become ambassadors, right? Everyone should become cow ambassador, in the sense, create awareness about the situation of cows, and so that more and more people can be supportive of this issue, and gradually more and more people will become part of the solution than being a part of the problem. Okay, so we'll pause here. Grantra Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrī Gopashtami Mahamotsav ki jai, Śrī Gomata ki jai, Śrī Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Jai Gaur Premanande. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Krishna,
Thank you,
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.